It's 6 p.m. Cairo local time, and it's time for the English news bulletin on Egyptian TV. Starting up with the main headlines. This is Sahar Talawi. President Sisi and the French President Emmanuel Macron arrives in the North Sinai city of Arish. Israeli occupation forces strikes killed 25 people in Gaza. And the Kremlin says it backs direct the U.S.-Iran talks over the nuclear program. Welcome back. The news in full. President Sisi and the French President Emmanuel Macron arrived on Tuesday in the northern Sinai city of Arish to inspect the key humanitarian sites critical to Gaza relief operations. The two leaders expect also to visit the Arish hospital to check on the injured, the Palestinians, many of whom have been transferred to Egypt via the Rafah border crossing since the onset of the Israeli war on Gaza. The visit will also include a tour of the aid storage facilities designated for Gaza, and most international aid went through the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt, but this has been suspended by the Israeli occupation side since early March. Macron is to meet humanitarian and security workers there and to demonstrate his constant mobilization in favor of a ceasefire. Hundreds of demonstrators headed to the Arish on Tuesday from the various Egyptian governorates, coinciding with the visit by the French president to the city. Organizers also said that demonstrations are being held to express the support for Palestinians for the President Sisi stance, rejecting the deportation of the Palestinians from Gaza. Wrapping up the visit to Arish city, the two leaders will hold a press conference. Writing on the social media platform X, the French president expressed backing for the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. He also condemned the continuation of the Israeli bombing on Gaza and called for the freeing of all hostages and the return to the ceasefire. The French leader said the objective is to establish a Palestinian rule led by the Palestinian National Authority, stressing that peace can only be achieved through the political settlements, adding that a two-state solution is pivotal to reach peace. And the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of Defense and Military Production, Lieutenant General Abdelmegid asserted the importance of the concrete international efforts to de-escalate the situation in Gaza and to preserve the civilians' lives, as well as ensuring the flow of the humanitarian aid to the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip. The minister remarks came during his meeting with the French Minister of the Armed Forces, Sébastien Lecornu, and the accompanying delegation. The meeting focused on means of enhancing the military cooperation between the two countries and the current developments on the regional and international arena. And for his part, the French Minister hailed the Egyptian-French solid relations and the fruitful cooperation, particularly in the military field. Meanwhile, on the sidelines of the Middle East, U.S. dialogue conference held in Abu Dhabi, Egyptian Minister of the Foreign Affairs and Immigration, Dr. Badr Abdulati, met with the U.S. Deputy Special Representative for the Middle East Policy and Acting Secretary of the State of Near Eastern Affairs. The meeting addressed the Egyptian-American strategic partnership and ways to strengthen the framework of the bilateral cooperation between the two countries to achieve the common interest and to advance this partnership to broaden the horizon. They also emphasized the importance of restoring the calm and consolidating the ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip and ensuring the implementation of its three phases. During the meeting, Abdulati discussed the Gaza reconstruction plan, which has been taken by the Arab countries and the European Union, Japan, and other international actors. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Egyptian expatriates Badr Abdelati asserted Egypt's full support to the Lebanese President Joseph Aoun and the Lebanese government. The foreign minister remarks came during his meeting with the Lebanese former PM Najib Mikati on the sidelines of the Middle East-US Dialogue conference held in Abu Dhabi. Abdelati stressed that Egypt's stance on backing the withdrawal of the Israeli occupation from the 5 Lebanese points and the full implementation to the resolution 117 without any conditions. For his part, the former Lebanese PM Mikati expressed his appreciation to the Egyptian political leadership and hailed Egypt's support to Lebanon. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration, Dr. Badr Abdelati, reviewed in a phone call with the Japanese Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwai Egypt's efforts to consolidate ceasefire agreement in Gaza and bring Israeli escalation and the brutal aggression against the Palestinian people to a halt. The Foreign Minister spokesman said that during the meeting, he said that also his appreciation of the written letter he received from the Japanese Foreign Minister recently thanking Egypt for its efforts regarding medical evacuation of the wounded Palestinians to receive the treatment in Japan. And for his part, the Japanese minister underlined the importance of the Egyptian mediation efforts, hoping to resume negotiations and enhance the access of humanitarian aid to Palestinian people. And he also said that the joint bilateral ties and affirmed the importance of boosting cooperation in various fields. And meanwhile, the Israeli occupation strikes on the Gaza Strip overnight and into Tuesday killed at least 25 people, including 8 children and 5 women. According to the Palestinian medics, a strike on a home in the central town of Deir al-Balah killed 11 people, including 5 children as young as 2. Another 4 people were killed in a separate strike that hit a house in Deir al-Balah. According to the Gaza Health Ministry, said that the strike in the northern town of Beit Lahia flattened a home and killed a family of 7. A separate strike hit a group of people in an open area northwest of the Gaza city, killing 4 people. According to Gaza Health Ministry, Israel's war in Gaza in its 18th month has killed over 50,000 Palestinians, mostly men and children. And meanwhile, the United Nations spokesman said the UN estimates nearly 400,000 people are newly displaced in Gaza after ceasefire ended. That works out nearly only 1 in every 5 Palestinians in the Gaza being newly displaced since Israeli resumed war less than 3 weeks ago. He said that no arrangement to secure the safety and the survival have been made. The UN spokesman said that an Israeli evacuation order issued Sunday covers more than 3 square kilometers in Deir al-Balah area. He also called on the international community to rescue the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and take a serious step to guarantee the respect of humanitarian international law in light of the Israeli occupation aggression. And meanwhile, Iran is approaching the weekend talks with the United States over its nuclear program, variety with little confidence in progress and deep suspicions over U.S. intentions. Iranian officials on Tuesday said that Trump has said the talks on Saturday in Oman will be directed by Iran. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi repeated on Tuesday and said that Trump has said the talks on Saturday in Oman will be direct with him, and citing what he was called U.S. pressure and threats. He also added that the indirect negotiations can guarantee a genuine and effective dialogue. Araghchi said that the talks would be led by him by Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff, mediated by Oman's Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi. The Kremlin said today that Russia backed both direct and indirect talks between Iran and the U.S. over Tehran's nuclear program as offering a chance for the de-escalation of the tensions between the two sides. The comments come as the owner of the House of the Russian Parliament voted on Tuesday to approve a 20-year strategic partnership with Iran, a sign of deepening military and other ties between Moscow and Tehran. The Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov reiterated Russia's support for diplomatic and political resolution of the standoff between Washington and Tehran over Iran's nuclear program. Welcome back. Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and the Minister of Industry Kamil Al-Wazir, the Minister of Electricity and the Renewable Resources Mahmoud Lasmat, and the French Minister of Economy, Finance and Industrial Digital Sovereignty witnessed the signing of the cooperation agreement for financing, developing the constructions and operating an integrated station for producing the green hydrogen and its derivatives. The project aims to producing 1 million tons of the green ammonia on the 3 stages beginning in 2029. The project enhances the state's ambition to provide the clean fuel for ships that can be also exported to international markets. The agreement boosts Egypt's position in the field of renewable energy projects and deepens its efforts in the transformation and towards a green economy. The project also is considered one of the rare initiatives to be integrated totally by the private sector through a coalition of companies. The total investment cost of the 3 stages reaches 7 billion euros for 1 million ton a year. 368 square kilometers were allocated to implement the 3 stages project to generate the solar and the wind energy. The U.S. dollar fell on Tuesday while the euro railed as the stocks rebound in Asia and Europe, and hopes that U.S. President Donald Trump will enter the negotiations over his sweeping tariffs that have rolled markets for 3 days. On Tuesday, the euro was lost 0.3% to 1.093, one down from an earlier rise of more than 0.7% after failing over the 2 previous days. And currencies that often fare well when stock markets and rising also recovered, with the pound up 0.2% and the Australian dollar 1.1% higher after both dropped in the previous 2 sessions. The dollar was last down 0.4% against the Japanese yen, traditionally seen as a safe haven at times of market stress. At 147.28 yen to the dollar, the U.S. currency touched a 6-month low against the yen on Friday. And China vowed on Tuesday to fight the end against the U.S. tariffs as some citizens railed against President Donald Trump after he signaled out Beijing for further levies, setting the stage for a standoff between the world's 2 top economies. Trump, he would said, impose the additional 50% duty on the U.S. imports from China on Wednesday if Beijing did not withdraw the 34 tariffs it imposed on U.S. products last week. The Chinese levies had come in response to repertoire duties of 34% announced by Trump on top of tariffs of 20% imposed earlier this year, lifting to 76% the average the U.S. tariff on Chinese goods. To the world of sports, reigning champions Al-Ahli play against the Sudan's Al-Hilal, their second leg of the CAF Champions League qualified. They play the match on Tuesday in Nouakchott, Mauritania on Saturday morning. They play it in Mauritania, and the players had their final training session at the club's headquarters in Cairo. The first leg ended in favor of Al-Ahli 1-0 after a brilliant volleyed goal from the defender Mohamed Hani on 11 minutes. And finally, with Real Madrid have set the bar sky high with the 6 Champions League titles in a decade, and their demanding fans have been voicing concerns as last year Europe's and Spanish champions struggle for the consistency this season. Coach Carlo Ancelotti seemed unfazed by the clamour from outside, however, as Real prepared to visit Arsenal in the Champions League quarter-final first leg on Tuesday. Following a disappointing 2-1 home defeat by Valencia on Saturday, Real Madrid was second in the La Liga standings on 36 points, 4 behind Barca with 8 games left. Ancelotti, however, is confident after knocking out Manchester City in the Champions League playoffs and local rivals Atletico Madrid in the round of 16. By this, we come to the end of our news bulletin. Thanks for watching. This is Sahar Talawi.